Live from Los Angeles. Good morning, La La Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jessica Moya. Good morning, La La Land. We are streaming to you live Monday through Friday on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and now on Twitter.
Love it.
And we have a great show in store for you, you guys. It is all about Wealth Wednesday. And today we're going to talk about 13 distinctions about shifting your mindset for a more prosperous life. And then we have somebody who's going to teach us about clearing your chakras for more prosperity in your life as well. Right? We just
clearing clutter in the music.
Right?
It's a collective sigh of relief.
Absolutely. And I'm crediting Amber Lee, the chakra girl. Good morning, Amber Lee. We are so excited to have you in the studio today. She is a lifestyle, business, and chakra expert. Hello.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. So happy to be here.
Absolutely. So here at Good Morning La La Land, we like to know how successful people start their day. So what is your morning routine?
Okay, so I like to target my morning routine on like a mind, body, soul, and energy level. So for my mind, I do some kind of journaling, usually if I'm trying to cultivate a certain energy. So if I'm trying to feel more abundant, I'll journal about how I'm already abundant. And that kind of just like gets you in that energy flow. And then for my body, I'll drink, you know, a lemon tea or something like that just to get everything flowing. And I'll do some stretching. Depending on whatever chakra I'm working on, I'll stretch that area of my body. And then for the soul, I meditate and just like sit in silence and also just see what comes up. And then sometimes I'll journal that out. And then from an energy perspective, I visualize. Like I think of whatever I'm trying to cultivate, whether it's a certain trip or a certain opportunity, and I'll just really envision it. And the more you can like picture it, taste it, feel it, the more likely you are to get on the energy frequency of pulling it into your life.
What are you envisioning this morning?
Oh, good question. I really, really want to take my family to Bali. So I'm kind of envisioned like what the villa is going to look like and how I'm going to have them all in first class and just bring them and have an amazing experience with them. So I get like super detailed down to like the bikini I'm wearing at the pool. And yeah, I'm just really excited about that.
Well, here's to Bali.
Yes.
That sounds fabulous. I'm so excited to get to talk to Amber Lee later in the show more about balancing our chakras and building our empires.
I love Bali. Bali has my heart. It's such a magical, mystical, and miraculous place.
Oh, I've never been to Bali.
Yeah, Erin put me on to Bali. Love it. Yeah, the idea. I'm always obsessed with it particularly this time every year.
Yeah, it's I cried when I had to come back to the rat race of America, quite frankly, but I'm like, but my family's here and the work is to be done here. But yeah, it's an incredibly healing place.
I'm going to start envisioning Bali in my life. And that new bikini, my new spiritual BFF over there, Amber Lee, is going to have to help me envision that for myself.
Right?
Absolutely.
Nice.
If there's an expert that you want to consult on visualization, it's Amber Lee.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Erin, I'm so excited to hear how your talk went yesterday.
Oh yeah. So I went to UCLA yesterday for Amanda Russell's influencer course to give a talk because she wanted me to come. She really feels that Good Morning La La Land is a very, it's a really kind of a showcase platform for what's happening in the shift online. So it's so funny because first of all, I just want to say like, I wish I was a college student for the rest of my life because like
Seriously?
we met up before, we went and had coffee while we hung out. It was like laptops and chatting with girlfriends and learning. It's like, for me, it's like I could be a student for the rest of my life.
Yeah, you
honestly.
don't realize how good it is to be a student when you're a student until you've like been in the real world and you're like, you know what? That utopian bubble of education and academia was just blissful.
I know. So anyway, so I go into this class. There's like 20 kind of different, everything from CEOs to students, all thinking and talking about what I think is one of the greatest conversations in history right now, influencer marketing, because we know that the online world has changed everything in the advertisement industry. But it's so fascinating because there's, you know, top influencers like say Madonna or the Kardashians or things like that, and that's fine. They have their place in the world of whatever they're going to influence, good, bad, whatever that is. But the reality is that for a majority of people and the majority of businesses and brands and people are really coming in community. Influencers is really about community. So it doesn't matter how many followers you have, it matters how engaged you are, basically. So this is a long-term game. It's like having a long relationship. You can go on one date with somebody, it can be fantastic, but it doesn't mean it's gonna work out, right?
Yes.
So it's all about building a big community. And so it made me really think about what we're up to here and how we're really building community. And I'm excited, but knowing that this is a long-term game. This is not something overnight.
It's a really good point because it invites you to explore and be clear about what you're committed to over the long run. Like, what can you actually maintain?
Right.
Not just something, you know, you have to really be clear about that, I think.
For sure, absolutely.
Build your community and boost your algorithm.
That's
my
right,
takeaway
Jess.
this morning. Absolutely. Well, I'm so excited because speaking of community, one of our good friends and part of the Focus TV family, Lauren, reopened the LaLa Rockefeller. It's back. London pop-up shop on 8378 Melrose. We're so excited. I went and visited her yesterday. Got some really amazing swag. I'm going to show this weekend.
Nice.
Yes. So
she's incredible.
And she's the most incredible stuff there.
oh yeah, she's got such an incredible story, and I love how she really empowers women, and she gives them a style that allows them to feel unique and one of a kind. And I mean, kind of like a girl gangster.
That's right.
Nice. So how about you, Rob? I know that you had an important meeting yesterday, and I know you can't say too much, but I want to know.
Yeah, I have had a little follow-up meeting with a production company I worked with in the past. It's fantastic. They're developing a new project at a big network, somebody they know well. So that went really well. We'll see where it goes, but I feel optimistic about it.
Nice. We got some good stuff in the house, for
absolutely.
sure. So Wealth Wednesday, we're going to talk about 13 mindset shifts to have a more prosperous life. And I'm excited because it's something I have to remember every single day. Like, I get into the ickiness of life, and then I'm like, oh yeah, remember there's some actual distinctions to live by.
Yeah, I mean, the noise of the world really sucks you in. I mean, it's so seductive to base what you think and how you feel on what you see or what you hear from other people, and to sort of be inner directed is so much more powerful, particularly when it comes to prosperity.
It's extremely distracting, especially when you're living in La La Land.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
Wow,
Yes.
absolutely. So I can't wait to hear more about these 13 wealthy mindsets when we come back. Stay tuned. Streaming to you live in America's first daily live streaming talk show. If you missed it, this was This Week in La La Land. I've got my host, Victoria Simone, host of This Week in Focus, to help me out.
Hi, girl.
On Monday, we had Jessica Carroll. She introduced to the Focus TV network her new show, The Rose Girls.
So excited for that.
So amazing. Anna Vergara, she was the boss lady with the classic glamour dolls. Also on Wealth Wednesday, we had Hala Denim. Hala! With the perfect skinny jeans, as well as Daniel Hall. He is now seen as Scott Granger on CBS's Young and the Restless. Arian Alexander taught us lights, camera, action. And of course, on Friday, we had hashtag Hair Goals with the Miracle Elixir creator, Joyce Gerard.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
That was This Week in La La Land.
Thanks for tuning in to This Week in Focus. I'm your host, Victoria Simone. Today I have a special guest with me, Jessamine Moyer from Good Morning La La Land. Last week on the Focus TV network, we shot hashtag Harry and Kelly, Sex Talk with My Mom. Awkward. We also shot Millennial Life's Laura Odegaard. She interviewed Jess Carroll, who's also on your show.
Absolutely, with a big announcement that she's got a new show on the Focus TV network, The Rose Girls.
So excited for that. Jess, who else did you interview on your show?
We had Darren Hala, founder of Hala Denim in the perfect skinny jean.
Hala!
Also Daniel Hall, now Scott Granger on CBS's Young and the Restless.
So young and restless over here.
And Joyce Gerard with hashtag Hair Goals and the Miracle
Hair
Elixir
Kosh.
Hair Collection.
Thanks for tuning in to This Week in Focus, everyone. I'm your host, Victoria Simone. Jess, thanks for helping me out.
Anytime.
Stay tuned.
Live from Los Angeles, we are Good Morning La La Land. Today is hashtag Wealth Wednesday. We have a very special lifestyle, business, and chakra expert in the house, Amber Lee. Good morning.
Good morning.
So on Wealth Wednesday, we want to know, what does wealth mean to you?
To me, wealth is more about the energy and having the ability to manifest whatever it is that you desire. So being able to match your frequency with what you want, and that's how you can manifest it and call it into your life.
Oh, I got to learn how to match my frequency.
Gotta get in alignment. Gotta get in alignment.
Absolutely, get in the flow. Thank you so much for sharing that. We're so excited to get to know more about you and what you do later in the show.
I love that. So great. So true. We're going to match our frequency. So today we're going to match it by having 13 distinctions of shifting your mindset towards prosperity, abundance. And the truth is that your birthright, our birthright, is prosperity. And so it's all about innovation, shifting the mind, and directing energy upon universal law. So let's dive into this. I want to give some good takeaways for you guys to be set in the correct mindset for the day on Wealth Wednesday. So number one, purpose versus confused. So the reality is this, is that we're here to direct universal law. And as we're directing it towards prosperity, abundance, we have to be very clear about what that looks like. That's why money's a great actual measuring stick of prosperity, you know? We know that wealth comes in all forms, but if we're confused and we're all over the place, then we literally are sending mixed messages to the universe, and we have to have mixed messages, right? So one day we're like, I want prosperity. Oh, but then I also want to be kind of like hang out and do nothing. And we get like, so what is the clarity around it, right?
To be very purpose-driven about it too, right? It's easy to get so distracted in the world. We talked about that a little bit earlier. And you know, one day want one thing and the other day want something else. So I find it helpful to dive deep into what I most deeply desire. And of course, I think prosperity and wealth has got to be at the top of that list.
You know what's really interesting though, because I feel like I am very purposeful in manifesting abundance, but really like subconsciously I'm very confused because I'm not seeing that direct measure and I'm not really sure how to get my conscious and subconscious aligned, or the frequency aligned, if you will.
Right.
It's such a great point. I mean, I want to hear what Dr. Erin has to say about that. I know in my experience was very similar to that, Jeslyn. I was very confused and had very mixed messages inside about sort of creating wealth and then not seeing it add up in my life. Like, where's the money? Like, what's my bank account doing? It's just like, right?
And, I'm manifesting you.
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
Not listening.
I promise I've been thinking about money all day long, but it's not happening. You know, it's not showing up in my bank account. So the one thing for me, you know, there's two things. One was redefined what true wealth means. And for me, I came to a deeper understanding that wealth is really about, like Amber Lee said, it's really currency, it's flow, it's an energy. And that energy can be directed in one way or the other. And so for me, realizing that at the end of the day, it was about the energetic or sort of emotional journey for me and coming to a place where I felt deeply wealthy already, even if it didn't mean that I had a ton of money. That for me was the shift that allowed greater money and abundance to flow into my life.
Rob, you're like a shaman. You're like just this wealth of wisdom that flows out of Rob is incredible.
Well, you know what it is, Jazz, and I appreciate that. I think lots of these people that we get to come in the studio, it's like contagious. It just rubs off. I mean, I listen to you every single day, Jeslyn, and she goes deeper and deeper and deeper. And it's amazing.
It's because I'm learning from the two of you. Erin, what's number two?
Number two is commitment versus trying, and I think that that's the point. If we get down to like purpose, we ask our why, usually it comes down to a limiting belief. So getting committed is the biggest thing, and sometimes it takes getting angry. Sometimes it gets getting sad, and you know, I think that we resist it so much, like, oh, I don't want to deal with finances, I'm frustrated, I'm sad, I have angst, whatever that is, and it's like, feel that, get real with that, because that's going to be what's going to say, I'm effing sick of this. Yeah. I'm committed no matter what to living and claiming my birthright instead of trying. We can try and do stuff and it just doesn't work out. It's a commitment at a core, it's a decision.
Yeah, I love that. And the commitment is, of course, is to the in a way, it's to the ultimate outcome. You can vary and change your strategy to get there, but the destination remains the same, right? So I think a lot of people get confused because they say, I want to make a ton of money, but they're committed to simply one path, and not realizing they can change paths, but be committed to the destination, which is greater abundance.
Or like Jeslyn, she's so giving. So I think that maybe some of the commitment is like saying no to other people and saying yes to yourself.
That is,
you know what I mean?
So hard
so
for me to do.
So it's a commitment to
like,
you.
The guilt I feel in saying no to other people, whether it's a social need or a request for help or whatever it is, my time, my effort, and my energy, I feel like I always am overextending.
That's why you hang out with Dr. Erin and I, because
really
we are going to help you say no. We have become very good at saying no. And saying it with a smile.
Yeah, the power of the positive no.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Number three is leader versus victim. And I know this is a tough one, and it's hard to go, you know, to give up that story of whatever it is in life. This is hard, or the economy, or whatever it is, and it's hard to say, I'm not going to have no more excuses. And that's what true leaders, true people that have true wealth know, that it's really up to them. And it's a hard one, and it's hard to give up the stories, but we all have to at some point in time take full responsibility and become the leader that we are.
Absolutely, I love that one. Powerful.
It's hard to give up that one. Okay, and then number four is now versus someday. So true mind shift is going, instead of thinking someday I'm going to be prosperous, or when I just get that, you know, degree, or when I just move to that new city, or whatever it is, it's now, right now, claiming it today. What can we do today?
And it's incredible. That's an incredibly important point, because, and I remember sort of not so long ago, I was sleeping in the gym on a yoga mat, and that was all I had. Quite literally. And I remember that day feeling deeply like, you know, I've been thinking about and reading all of this stuff on prosperity, on manifestation, and I'm kind of like fed up, and I don't want to wait for 3 days or 3 months or 3 years to become wealthy. And I remember just deeply diving, like having a meditation and visualization where I felt incredibly and infinitely abundant and wealthy in that moment. I promise you, and I know it sounds like a coincidence, but within 24 hours, I got a phone call from a major corporation. They said, hey, do you want to do this national media spokesperson thing? We'd love to have you. We'll pay you this amount of money. It was more money that I had made in the last several years. I made overnight. So it's important to remember that things can shift like that.
Yeah, and the universe doesn't know the future or the past. It only knows now as far as manifesting. So we have to remember that right now, when you claim it right now, things happen, like things shift. For sure.
I'm claiming it right now. The universe has heard me.
That's
right now, in this moment. I'm aligning my frequency.
That's right. Okay, this next one I think is so important. It's number 5, and it's shifting from problems to seeing things as opportunities. And I think that that's a huge mind shift, because when we see things as problem, we energize that problem instead of seeing where the opportunity and where the growth is.
Yeah, the glass is always half full, half empty, and it sort of depends on your perspective.
Right, and like, what was our guest, Alyssa said the other day, she said, you know, it's always, no matter what's happening in my life, if there's a problem, that's where my growth is.
Absolutely.
That's where the growth is. So it's like,
that.
bring on the problems, bring on whatever, because that's where I go, okay, that's where we got to do our work.
There's something interesting about that, though. You know how people say when it rains, it pours? I feel like in my life, it's not just like one problem.
Yeah.
It's all of a sudden a series of problems.
That's definitely the experience that I've had as well. I used to have a friend, and he would always say, you know, it's feast or famine, Rob, it's feast or famine. And he was so right about that. Part of the tendency, I think, is that when something shows up and you give it your attention, you not only see other similar things like it more frequently, but also you invite more things like it into your
So how do you stop yourself from inviting that? Like, how can you address that problem, put your time and attention to that one thing without inviting other problems in your life?
That's a great one. Well, first of all, we know that we energize the universal law by our feelings. So if we're feeling anxiety, we're saying, we're like inviting the universe to like, I'm signing up for the course of overcoming anxiety. So it's like everything you can ever imagine is going to start coming for you around anxiety until you deal with that, handle that, and know that that's why they say fear the law, because it's like what you're energizing, it is what's going to come reflected back. So beginning to go, I am first of all directing this here. And taking on one thing, like we say, choosing one thing to overcome, whatever that is, saying no to all those other problems. Maybe pick one problem, but knowing it's not a problem, it's an opportunity.
Yeah, it's a great way of putting it.
Right?
The way I would say it too, sometimes when it's really painful, when something's going really wrong, the best thing you can do is distract yourself and take your mind off it and go do something else. Go for a walk, watch a movie, take a nap. That's often the best thing to do. And then when you're back at a place of neutral emotionally, it's much easier to get positive momentum going forward. So the challenge that people usually have is they try to, there's a car that's going in reverse and they try to shove it in like fourth gear.
Or they'll go tell everybody about their problem, and then everybody energetically is holding them as that identity.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a real sacred place to go, oh, there is something going on here that's going to be between me and my higher self, or a really, really great, counselor or whoever that is going to hold the truth and hold the truth of you not being that identity of that problem. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it helps to have people that are doing it themselves already.
For sure.
Yeah.
So number 6 is creating versus reacting. So that's a big one. That's a very advanced concept, I think, in that basically proactively creating what we want out of life instead of reacting.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want to be in denial and all of a sudden be like, oh, okay, I'm in major dire straits around finances, when we need to look at this all the time. This is an ongoing conversation for our lives, right?
Yeah, I absolutely love this point, because it's so easy, and we talked about this a little bit earlier in the show, it's so easy to let conditions and circumstances and other people control your emotional place that you're at. You know, you can almost, you let conditions and circumstances dictate how you feel. That's being a sort of reactive kind of person. That's being sort of an observer of situations. And then there's no control in that. There's no power in that. The real power is taking that all back and saying, the condition may be that, the circumstance may be that person may be doing that. But at the end of the day, I get to decide how I'm going to think about this or how I'm going to feel about this.
That's really interesting that you bring that up, because I've been having this conversation recently with friends of mine. And how do you remove yourself then emotionally in that place to almost be an observer without detaching from your emotions, without becoming a sociopath?
Yes.
Right?
That's a great point.
But really to have that control, how do you do that?
Well, the one thing that and I want to hear what you have to say, Erin. The one thing that I do is I remind myself that I can't control other people, conditions, or circumstances at all, usually, or very much. But particularly in this red hot moment, the more I'm aware of the things that I can't control, the more committed I become to controlling the very thing that I can control, the only thing I can control, which is where my focus is, what I'm thinking, and what I'm feeling, period. And so for me, it's all about being as self-directed as humanly possible. I don't want anybody or anything else dictating what I think or how I feel.
Wow, that's so powerful.
I think it's a language also to realize I'm experiencing something. I am not this. I am not broke. I am not my circumstances. I am not even my emotions or my feelings. I'm experiencing these things.
Well, how do you let that reaction be your trigger, right? Like, so if you're triggered and instantly I'm thinking like, oh, I'm so angry or I'm resentful, I'm going to say something and I'm going to react a certain way. How do I trigger that to be my first reaction? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, practice when it's easy.
Right.
Practice when it's easy. You don't in the middle of a marathon, you don't sign up for a marathon today and go run it tomorrow. Ideally, what you do is you just take baby steps. So
you know what we do too is we do what's called drills where we actually flatten those buttons. So we actually go through, like with clients, we'll actually go through the worst things that could ever happen and actually go there in your consciousness before they actually happen in real life, so you can flatten those out.
Sort of
get
practicing
okay.
in advance of them.
Yeah, getting okay with somebody saying something awful to you, or the worst case scenario, and getting in your mind, getting okay with that, and coming back. It's like a touch and release process subconsciously.
Yeah, so basically do it when it's easy. Practice when it's easy. Yeah.
It's a great, I love that you speak for the audience. It's really, I've gotten some feedback from people. They're like, it's so cool how Jeslyn speaks and asks questions like some people would be out in the audience. So it's really cool. The dynamics are really
My
awesome.
pleasure, just being honest, having a conversation for you. It's you and me, La La Land. We're figuring this out together.
So the next, number 7 is assets versus liabilities. So as far as a prosperous mindset, beginning to look at life and begin to grow your assets, whether that be people, whether that be, financially having assets that grow, whatever that is, versus liabilities. And that goes across the board from everything from the people you're hanging out with. There's liabilities. We don't want this to be a focus of your life, right? If there's people in your life that are pulling you down, learn how to set the boundaries.
Yeah, and that's a particularly important, especially when you're starting out. So when you're coming from a place where you've been surrounded by toxic people and toxic energy, and you haven't had a whole lot of practice in directing or guiding your own thoughts and feelings, then it's especially important to make sure that you're lining everything up in your life, the people, the circumstances, the conditions, in a way that contributes to your end goal.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, number 8 is action versus analyzing. And I know I have been so guilty of this. We call it in the stands versus on the court. So oftentimes in life, we're strategizing. How should I do this? How should I do this show? Maybe it should look like this. Da 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 da. They're planning out the whole thing instead of just doing it. And oftentimes people will plan out so much that they end up talking themselves out of the whole thing. They're like, this is not going to work anyway.
It's so true. You psych yourself right out. Yeah, I've never done that.
Never.
I can talk myself out of anything. Absolutely.
And into anything as well, or only out?
Pretty much, yeah.
Love that one.
Okay, number 9 is productive versus inefficient. And we all want to be productive, whether it be having fun with your friends, whether it be making money, whether it be whatever it is, we want to be productive. So the difference of this is actually really having specific measurable goals. Whether it be just for today, oftentimes people will go around in circles or zigzag back and forth. What is the intention today? Let's set one simple goal and complete that one simple cycle.
I love that. Focus is critical, right? And I would challenge this one a little, or maybe just contextualize it a bit. And for me, productivity is joy, okay? Anytime I'm feeling joyful, when I feel tapped in, tuned in, turned on, that is the most productive place for me to possibly be. And I've just found incredible miracles and magic happens when I'm tapped in, tuned in, turned on. I can't explain it, but things just rain down.
Tapped in? What is it again?
Tapped in, tuned in, turned on.
Tapped in, tuned in, turned on.
I love that. That sounds like a tag for a good podcast.
Yes, it does, doesn't
it?
Yeah.
Or your next book. I don't know.
That'd be a good one too.
Co-author.
Okay,
there we go.
Number 10 is leverage versus weakness. And that means that we have people in our life, things that we like that are leveraging us. This is a leverage. This team here at Focus TV is it's a leveraged community. We're building on helping bring people's inspirational stories. They're helping bring us to their community. It's a win-win for everything, right? Versus weaknesses, basically, you know, scarcity mindset. We're bringing people down. We're having competition. This is weakness. It's not going to help our team thrive.
Wow, that's so powerful. I love that one. You know, it's so interesting because we often do get into this very competitive place in our lives. I had that as a child, but I quickly grew out of it because it was exhausting, mostly.
Yeah.
You know, and the interesting thing about that, you can be in a competitive space and kind of have a competitive spirit, but when you start competing with other people and that becomes your focal point, you really do become weaker as a result of it. You become weaker in terms
Trying
of
to do it all doesn't work.
Well, it's really interesting too in thinking about the women that I keep close in my life, because women typically can be very competitive with each other, very judgmental. Even on a subconscious level, some of the girls you love the most, you're the most competitive with. So it's really interesting to really bring a conscious attention to that and making sure that, you know, the group of girls that I'm involved with the Goals Club or the Boss Babes, and really keeping each other accountable to be leverage for each other. Like, you don't need to pull each other down. We can all rise up together.
Oh, that's one of the things I love most about this time, this day and age, is that I feel that collectively, particularly with women, they're more and more supportive of each other, and they're seeing things more and more as a win-win, and you can see and feel the power of that. So
Hashtag time's up.
Time's up. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, we have 3 more. So 11 is transcending versus transactional. We've talked about this on dating. We talked about this in all areas of your life. So transcending, transactional is like what's in it for me, what's in it for you. You know, it's a very transactional thing. Transcending is like how can we both grow? How can we build relationship? And again, back to influencer marketing. I think this is the biggest distinction for that.
Yeah.
Instead of like, you know, let me have you post this one, you know, thing about this outfit and have maybe your audience purchase that. It's more about building a long-term transcending relationship with your audience, with everyone.
Wow.
Speaking of that, there was that really interesting post on Instagram Scott Disick made. If you're not familiar with him, he's a personality best known for his time on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and he had a very embarrassing Instagram post.
Right?
Yeah, his caption was basically please post this at this time, and it went live on Instagram.
Right, so he's being paid essentially by a marketing company to post something in his Instagram, and he kept the form letter in the actual post.
In the actual post.
Oh,
Oops.
man.
Oops.
That's tough.
Right? So
Yeah.
it's like that's what people don't want. I think people are getting savvy. They want to know that it's a transcending relationship for everybody, including all the audience and everyone in it. So number 12 is passive income versus paycheck. So, you know, oftentimes we get stuck like, how much am I making per hour, per day, whatever, instead of a passive income, something that's going to go on residual, so that your money is working for you instead of you working for money.
That's music to my ears. Let it roll in, like residuals checks.
Right? So we're in a little bit of a hurry. So number 13 is quantum leap versus linear. So, you know, I'm inviting all of us with everything that we're up to, instead of thinking, okay, we're going to do, you know, A, B, and C, and then one day we're going to get here. Let's think in the mindset of a quantum leap. What has to happen for all of us to have a quantum leap in all areas of our life?
Probably talk to Amber Lee.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
I'm
just saying.
Girl. She's got all the wisdom. She's going to get our frequencies aligned, and we're going to
Let's
take
do
it
it.
next level, first class lifestyle with the Chakra Girl.
Oh, tapped into and didn't turn on.
And win more when we come back.
Guys, hola mi gente bella. As you all probably know by now, Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico, becoming one of the biggest catastrophes for our beautiful island. Unfortunately, a lot of people have let it become old news, and we don't want to allow that to happen. So we want to continue helping, and every little bit counts. So if you want to join us to help,
we're going to help 1 school, 5 families, 14 girls, and there's only 1 you. So we need you. So do something today.
help us impact the lives of so many in need, step by step, pasito a pasito.
Gracias.
This is Jack. His mother didn't save his childhood artwork.
She just threw it all away like it was garbage.
If only his mother had archive.
Archive is the easiest and fastest way to chronologically store your child's art.
Snap a picture, tag it, and store it safely in our cloud.
Then share it with friends and family.
Even turn it into a calendar, mug, or your very own printed book.
Oh, you were going to make one yourself? Yeah, that's what his mom said.
Download the Archive app now and help us save art.
Archive, available now on the App Store.
Hey, Dr. Drew here, and I am on the HEAL Advisory Board. I got involved with this organization because it's the answer to our healthcare problem. Listen to me. You go to urgent care, you go to emergency room, you are paying for all that equipment, all that infrastructure, you're wasting time, you're exposing yourself to sick people. All you got to do is go to heal.com or get the HEAL app at heal.com. Get that HEAL app, and you can have a doctor wherever you are. It's $99 if you don't have insurance, though most insurances cover it. It's the most effective way to get the care you're looking for and the most cost efficient. $99 all in. That's it. And you get a board certified physician to show up wherever you are, your home, your work, whatever it is, 8A to 8P, 7 days a week, including holidays. And that board certified individual, that licensed professional, is going to just be paying attention to you and focusing on you and using his or her judgment to take care of your needs in that moment. Go to HEAL. Check it out. You'll see what I'm saying. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Hi, this is Jennifer Eddy, and I'm here with Spa Girl Cocktails today. We're thrilled to be here with Empowerista and Girl Talk Network at UNITA and El Segundo to help support and empower women in the community. We have 2 flavors with Spa Girl Cocktails, Pear and Spa. Those are our signature cocktails. They're low-calorie and gluten-free, all natural, nothing added. You can find us at Bevmo and Total Wine in all of your communities. We're thrilled to be here with Focus Magazine today in their December issue.
Hello everyone, I'm Joyce Gerard, creator of the Joyce Miracle Elixir Collection, and I'm happy to say that it's the only collection out there that is not going to have any harsh chemicals, free of parabens, free of sulfates, free of sodium chloride, absolutely cruelty-free, because for me that is super important. And it's made right here in USA. And it's the only line that is going to deliver you the best antioxidants, vitamins, fatty acids, minerals, straight from Mother Nature. I've infused my entire line with buriti, maracuya, moringa, and argan. So you have the buriti, which is the tree of life. You have the argan, which is literally liquid gold. You have the maracuya, which is the richest source of vitamin C. And you have the moringa, which is the richest superfood in the world. So I've combined all these yummy ingredients from Mother Nature and delivered them straight to you, straight to your strands, straight to your face. In all my products, that's the base of it. And the most important thing is that everything is made with love right here at home in USA, straight for you.
And the reason they book me and keep me is because it's more than just training. It's just authentic. And so I think that's one thing I realized that I had my whole life was will. I'm so determined to get to where I want to go. I'm not going to let nothing stop me, not even myself. Right? And I try to tell my clients and people, it's all a mindset. You know, absolutely. You got to really want it. They said, you can change anything, but before you change anything, you got to change it in your mind first. Just because I always say if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you.
I'm Eden Sassoon, and I own 2.
Live from Los Angeles, we are Good Morning LaLaLand, and I'm so excited to have my spiritual BFF, Amberly Schneider. She is a lifestyle business and chakra expert, aka the chakra girl.
That's me. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming on.
So
nice.
Let's break it down. When you say you're the chakra girl, what does chakra mean?
Okay, so we all have these energy centers in our body, and that's where all of your emotions live. So they're kind of like superpowers. They're all kind of locked in there. But over the years and over all of the like conditioning and fogginess that happens, they get blocked. So your true potential isn't like fully shining through. So it's really important to get them in flow. So chakra actually means a spinning wheel. So if your chakras, if a certain chakra is clogged or blocked or the energy is low, then the wheel isn't fully spinning. So you want to like have a practice that is allowing them to be fully ignited and tapped in so that everything's flowing and everything. That's when you're like really connected to source and really connected to the universe. That's when you can start manifesting everything.
Wow, what a spin.
Yeah.
So when did you learn about this?
So I was totally self-taught. I had the most insane lump in my throat. And I was in a meditation class, and I was like opening my eyes being like, am I the only one swallowing every 5 seconds? I was just like, because there was just really something there. And when I took the time to like sit in silence, that's when I would feel it the most. And the throat chakra is about not living your true potential and not speaking your truth and not putting yourself out there enough. So I just started Googling it and just becoming obsessed with it, bought all the books, and I started working with crystals a lot. So I literally slept with a crystal on my throat like this. My husband was like, you're a weirdo. Why are there rocks in the bed? Like,
what's happening right now?
But did it help?
In 2 weeks, it was gone.
Wow.
Like, so quick. And I remember just thinking, like always thinking, oh, everything's such a mess, like it's gonna take so long to like fix my life. But once it's actually like really easy. Once you set the intention and like use the tools and tap into that energy, and then everything kind of falls into place.
Wow.
So yeah, I just became obsessed with it and started Googling and buying the books, and I started realizing, okay, so that was the throat chakra. I also had like just low self-worth and like wasn't treating my body right and wasn't like eating the right things and wasn't taking enough time for myself, and that was because deep down I didn't think I deserved it. So I was like, okay, that's a sacral chakra thing, and I started doing this meditation where you actually envision like the waves of the ocean hitting your sacral chakra, which is your second chakra, like right below your belly button, and like pulling out like anything that doesn't serve you and like filling you up with really strong energy and self. And then again, 2 weeks, I was like a different freaking person.
So was there a defining moment for you, or, you know, Erin sometimes calls it like the dark hour, where you realized everything is out of balance and I need to fix this?
Yes. So it was, I always knew I was meant to do something big, and I knew that I was like meant to like help people in some way, but I had no idea. I was like, I cannot even take care of myself. How is this gonna happen? And then I would see people around me becoming successful, but I would always make an excuse. I'd be like, oh, well, they were rich growing up, or they had this person help them. And it got to a point where I couldn't make excuses anymore. I was out of excuses. And I just remember crying on my sofa, just being like, please, like, universe, like, show me something, like, give me something. And I read this blog post that just totally put everything into perspective. And it was just about like acting as if. I was like, okay, so I just need to pretend I'm rich. I need to pretend I'm successful. I need to like just act that way. And that was when I just slowly started seeing things change.
Living that first class life.
Exactly.
So that from you.
So I've got a question, Amberly. So you work with people in business.
I do, yeah.
How do you work with their chakras and business? Because most business people will be like, what the hell are you talking about? I need like a business coach that's going to actually, look at my business and numbers. So how does that work, right?
I do the spreadsheets too, so I actually do both, which is nice. But so the way that I work with my clients is that first we tap in, we start at the bottom, so we start at the root chakra. And I noticed as I was starting my business that the energy that I needed every single step was the next chakra up. Like it went in sequence of the chakras, and it like blew my mind. So your root chakra is like standing in your power and feeling really grounded in what you're doing. And that's when you create the foundation of your business and like your core message and all of that stuff. And then you move up to your sacral chakra and you tap into that energy and you do your daily practice and you do everything to feel creative and passionate, because that's what lives in your sacral chakra, and to feel worthy. And then that's when you start building your visual brand and start telling your story and start really like owning what you're putting out there. And like as you go through the chakras, it's like the steps of building a business. So it's kind of wild.
So interesting to me, and it's a theme that's been developing over the years, which is really successful business folks seeking spiritual guidance and doing it within the capacity of sort of executive coaching or business coaching. Can you talk to me a little bit about that? Did you always know that you wanted to move into that sort of business coaching, executive coaching space, or?
It was kind of funny, actually. I was at a job, I went to school for fashion. I was in the fashion industry, and I was at a job interview for a men's underwear company, which I ended up working for. And he asked me, like, what's your 5-year plan? And out of nowhere, I was like, I want to be a life coach. And I have no idea where that came from, but that was when I was kind of like in my journey of personal development. So I didn't always know, and then what happened was I decided to start a jewelry business. So I started a chakra crystal jewelry business, and then that's when I hired a coach to help me with that. And once I saw the transformation that it made for me, I was like, I need to be sharing this with the world. There's so many of those girls crying on the sofa out of excuses that need help from someone, and it's really hard to find something relatable in terms of like the spiritual space. It's hard to find, you know, I was like, when I was Googling and like really looking into like chakra stuff, I was like, this woman doesn't shave her armpits, and she's like 85, and I'm not like, it doesn't resonate, right?
No, that's one of the things I love about you, is that you really own, you're like, hey, I can have this first class lifestyle, I can rock my stilettos, I'm a fashionista, and also I'm spiritually aligned and I'm balanced, because those two can go hand in hand.
Yeah, and I always felt like I would go to yoga wearing like makeup and my hair extensions, like was being totally judged, but it's like you can have both, and I felt like I was like, I don't fit into the spiritual crowd, but like I'm a little bit more like, you know, woke than the fashion crowd. So like, where do I fit? I was like, I'm gonna make my own crowd. And I just like was like, yeah, I don't want to feel guilty for wanting Louis Vuitton bags. Like, I don't want to, like, Buddhism about like minimalism and all that. I'm like, well, I don't want to like get rid of my stuff.
But you recognize what your true wealth is.
Exactly.
And you know, you can appreciate these material items, or the you know, the Louis and the Gucci's, whatever, but you know your true worth. And that's what makes you so successful and relatable. And that's why somebody like me would want to work with you.
So what does that look like? If I'm a business, I have a business and I go, I need my chakras cleared. Like, do you actually put crystals on their chakra? What do you do to work with them?
So I give everyone like a really custom daily practice and custom like mantras, journaling prompts. Like, it's really up to them to tap into the energy. Like, I can do like distance Reiki or whatever, but it's at the end of the day, it's really up to them. So I really hold them accountable to tapping into their own energy and like reading the books and doing the things and doing the daily practice. But then there's also actions they have to take. Like, if you want to feel abundant, then, you know, go buy the fancy soap and like go do, you know, go get your hair done, your makeup done. Like, you have to like, I'm just there to like, I'm just there creating a container for them of space and time to get it done and to do it. Because if you just make a decision and you don't have anyone guiding you or like holding you accountable, that's when it goes crazy. So
I love that. I once heard the expression that what a coach or an expert does, essentially, they can't do your push-ups for you, but they can do push-ups with you, or they can help you learn how to do your own push-ups.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, there's like the strategic business stuff, which I just learned along the way. And it's a lot, it's like so much more about the spiritual than it is about the step-by-step and the how-to. It's about just really, like I was saying before, like tuning in and like creating charge behind your desires. And you guys were kind of saying like, I'm picturing the money, but it's not coming. But like, you have to figure out like what's your purpose and what's your charge for everything. Okay, so you want like a stack of bills is not exciting. Like, that's just paper. Like, you're not gonna be excited about a number. It's like a number on a screen or like a stack of paper. That's not exciting. What's the money for? What's the purpose for it? I want a Tesla. Okay, so why do I want the Tesla? I want to inspire people. It's good for the environment. Like, and get so excited about inspiring people and the environment, then the Tesla happened.
I'm very curious to know what you've learned about yourself in the journey of becoming the chakra girl.
I've learned that I'm so much more powerful than I ever imagined, and I don't even think it's that's just about myself. I think it's just about people in general. Like, everyone can do this. Like, it is in there. Like, that energy is in everybody. You just have to figure out how to get in there and like do the work and take the action. But then you can literally, anyone can do anything. I really felt that way.
So one of the pitfalls of The Secret, the documentary, is that it was so based on materialism. And I think that a lot of people, I'm working with people, what I find is that it's fine, you can have the stilettos and you can be spiritual. However, most people keep going for those things, and yet they're not fulfilled.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that? Because what I found is that it's fine, you can have all that, but generally I find that people have to kind of go the other way first and get really to the core of what they truly want and their true life's purpose, and then come back to the material world almost. But so how do you deal with that? Because it feels like this younger generation is still in the manifesting, and it's kind of crap in my opinion.
She is a doctor of divinity. Let's be clear.
So I always start and end with purpose. So when we start with the root chakra, actually before we even get to the root chakra, it's about purpose. And I truly believe that everyone's purpose is to serve. Anything that you've gone through, any hard time you've gone through, or any struggle that you've been through, I believe that you went through that because you're stronger than other people, and you get to teach them how you got through it. And it's just kind of like the ripple effect of everyone helping everyone. So that's where we start. And then at the end, when we're at the crown chakra, which is the top chakra, and you're attached to source, you're attached to flow, that's when we kind of come back to purpose. And that's actually like what the whole part of my course is called, bringing it back to your why, and revisiting like the actual purpose of it. Because it's easy to get lost in those things. I know even I was at a point this year where I was already like three quarters of the way to my financial goal. And I was like, I've already had a good year. Like, I went to Europe for a month, I got married, like I got everything I want. Like, does the money even matter? And then so I just had to be like, well, no, like what's the purpose? Like forget about the things you want. Think about the mission that you're trying to make. Like think about your purpose. And then it really got me re-inspired to like just keep going, and so many magical things happen. So it's not, you always have to keep checking in. And I think it's really easy to get like veer off, but you just have to keep checking in and keep true to yourself.
You mentioned mission and purpose. What is your mission and purpose?
My mission is to create accessible information that's going to resonate with millennials who probably are going to see the Louis Vuitton bag and be like, oh, I want that. But it's like I'm giving them what they want, but then giving them what they need. So they don't know any of this stuff. So I'm there to like show them, okay, this is what you can have, and then the how comes after. Just kind of like being that light for them and that inspiration, and then giving them like a deeper meaning.
Yeah, I love on your Instagram, it's AKA your spiritual BFF, teaching you how to be intentional AF while supporting you in living your best life.
Exactly.
That makes it so accessible.
Yeah,
I get that.
Exactly.
That resonates with me.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, like my journey was so long. So if I can speed that process up for people and like do something that really resonates, then that's what I want to do.
Well, nice.
So let's say somebody's new to all this. Where would you tell them to start? Where do they start? Let's say this is brand new to them. They've never heard about it before. Where would you say, what would you tell them to start?
I would tell them to start just checking in with themselves every morning. Like, how are you feeling? I know a lot of, schools of thought say, write down 5 things you're grateful for, and do that too, but also like, how are you feeling? Like, you got to be honest with yourself, because you can't just like push everything down. And once you get clear on like the pattern or the thing that's keeping you stuck, and you can actually feel that in your body. So like taking deep breaths, and if you feel your breath stop here, you feel it stop here, you like, why can't I breathe all the way down to my toes? Like, why am I not feeling that energy down there? Then you can be like, okay, so it's in this area, and just read about the chakra. Like and then you'll be like, whoa, like this is real.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's one of the things that drives people crazy about me, because I love that so much. I ask people, how are you feeling? And I really genuinely want to know. And you can see very quickly how uncomfortable it is for folks to come to terms with that. So I love that. Totally. It's great.
Yeah, and I got to a point where I like pushed it away for so long. I was like, I'm gonna be positive every day. But it's like, no, you have to be real with what's going on.
So true, so true. So on that note, we want to give you from Good Morning LaLaLand and from Focus TV, we want to give you a karma coin from Karma Army. And basically what it is it's a group that we're involved with that basically it's do a pay it forward deed or whatever it may be, buying someone a cup of coffee or doing some big act, whatever that is for you. And on the back of it has a code that you can actually put into their website to tell the story of whatever that goes. So we're just
and you can track your kindness. So it's really interesting when you do something and they recognize that. And they say, oh, thank you so much for your your kindness, for giving me this cup of coffee, and you send the coin and you pay it forward. You can literally track how far your kindness goes. And it's gone all over the world. I mean, the Karma Army is actually making a significant difference. It's so exciting. So we want to be.
Oh, yeah. And you may need an entire factory, considering that you're in the helping profession. We'll get you all entire Karma coin making factory. Yes, absolutely.
She's going to sleep with it on her throne.
I am. Forehead maybe.
For sure. Okay. So let everyone know where they can find you.
Yeah, so on social media, I'm at the Chakra Girl Co. YouTube, Chakra Girl TV, Facebook, Chakra Girl Co. And my website is thechakragirlco.com.
Amazing.
Okay, great. Well, looking forward to watching your journey, and please check back in and let us know about the Karma Coin. It's a fun way that we get to just stay connected with everyone and see good deeds out there. So stay tuned, you guys. We'll be back right back. Stay tuned. We'll be one moment. La La Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jasmine Moyer. Monday through Friday, we are going to be streaming to you live, Los Angeles.
America's first live streaming daily talk show.
At 9 a.m. Pacific time on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
And we have a sexy show for you today.
We have got Will, Leanne, and Gabe in the house. Let's go back there. Hi!
Talk to 4 beautiful, intelligent, conscious women. Clearly, I was miserable the entire time.
She has a TV show similar to your guys.
Ellen.
Yes!
Yes!
The little peck, come on.
I feel so bad for Jess.
We're live. Do it for the people viewing.
For the people.
Wow!
M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E Club Mickey Mouse.
We definitely were not prepared today, and it was
I'm okay on, but the other half completely.
We are streaming to you live Monday through Friday on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Happy holidays.
It's gonna be a
Good morning, La La Land.
5, 6, 7, 8. We are the Mouseketeers, and we proudly wear our ears. We mousing, we mousing, M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E Club Mickey Mouse. Good morning, La La Land.
We're back. Wealth Wednesday. It's been an epic day. Conversation, chakra, prosperity, mindset shift.
I feel more prosperous just as a result of the conversation. I really do.
My frequencies are aligning.
Are they?
Yes. No, I'm so excited because I know Amberly has some online courses too. I'm so excited to start following that because my breath stops here and I don't know what that means, but I've got a new spiritual BFF, the chakra girl.
I gotta figure.
She's going to help me figure that out.
Yes. Is that been something you've had for a while? You noticed in there?
Couple months.
Yeah.
Couple months. It stops right here. I'm not really sure why, but I'm gonna learn.
Yes.
I'm excited. It's funny because we always have these guests, and I love to like soak up their wealth of knowledge, and then I accept all their challenges. I mean, my agenda is just chock full. I'm like Fit Strong Sexy Challenge with Amanda Russell, and next week I'm doing the soup cleanse with Alyssa Goodman. Now I've got the Chakra Girl.
Right.
Next month I'm supposed to do something I don't even know. I forgot. Mia Sanchez. Yes, Miss USA. I'm going to be a part of the Universal Confidence Group. Oh my God.
It's one of the things I love most about you, Jazz, and it's countless things that I love about you, but I love that you say yes to the universe. And
You
say
do.
yes.
She does
You're
say yes.
very yes.
I mean, Erin's point in segment 2, I kind of overcommit. I say yes to everything.
Yeah.
Woo! Gotta work on that.
Yeah, it's good to focus.
Yes, girl.
Help me say no, Erin. Help me say no. You're gonna have to keep me in check.
No, it's bad. It's like I need to be nicer when I say no. No, just kidding. No.
and it's a good point. I mean, I think it's challenging, right? Because there are so many interesting people in LA, all over the world, and you kind of do want to take part in all of it. The only challenge is that at a certain point in time, you run out of time, energy, or money to do it all. and it doesn't all necessarily contribute to your greatest goal, right? So
before you know it, I'm gonna end up waking up at 3 a.m. like you.
I know, that's what happens. That's what happens. That's the result of not saying no, right there.
Only I won't make it look this good. Trust me.
So true. But I do agree with Amber Lee. You know, I did Kundalini yoga. I do yoga practice and breath work, and it is amazing how when you get in that vibration and the energy is literally, I feel like it's like there's almost like a line that goes all the way to the core of the earth and all the way out to infinite universe. And it's like there's this whole energy, and we have to remember that we're not just these bodies, we're one with the entire universe. So if there's something blocking that in our ability to have all aspects of life, then it's going to block our flow in our money, in our, you know, in our vitality, in our relationships, and in all of it. It's so important.
It really is. I mean, it sort of brings us back to the guest that we had yesterday with Alyssa and Nia. You know, one of the things that they said and sort of shared that I thought was so poignant was that it's our identification with our bodies, thinking that we're only a body, that creates so many problems for us in our lives, right? So limiting in a way, because you say, well, how can I accomplish X, Y, or Z when I've only got this body to accomplish all those things? And so if you can tap into something that's deeper, I call that life or God or source, it's infinity essentially, then you suddenly realize that a lot of the limitations that you thought you have, you no longer have.
Tapped in.
Tuned in, turned on.
That's right.
You gotta make it happen. You dialed in, baby.
So who's going to be on the show tomorrow?
We got Karina Smirnoff, who we absolutely love. I love Karina. She was one of the cast members on E's Famously Single, which I did for 2 seasons. Just fantastic. She's an incredible dancer in ridiculous shape. So looking forward to talking to her.
We have to go dancing.
We do.
Let's invite Karina.
Salsa dancing.
Oh my goodness,
Yep.
yeah.
And a girlfriend of mine, Emily Luis, and she is basically has an LA-based fashion company, and she does Kundalini yoga also. Wow. And she's has some different tips on eating. She doesn't do grain. She eats very, very organic, and so just hearing her journey in that. And I'm just looking forward to Thought Thursday.
Yeah, I'm always looking forward to any time I get to spend with you guys. It's true.
It's
so
just
nice,
true.
right?
I enjoy that. Yeah, absolutely. It's such a joy, I think, that people that we get in, the guests that we get in, it's so exciting for me because, like Jeslyn said, you learn so much from all of them. There's not
Really,
a single
it's true.
guest that could come
It's
in
true.
here and that we wouldn't learn from. And I think we all have something to learn, but I'm just so inspired by the conversations we get to have.
My library list is like
Growing, right?
grown so fast. I just finished Reverend Maria Felipe's book, Live Your Happy. I love that.
Really?
Shout out to her. That was the great Cliff's Notes, like intro into A Course in Miracles. That's what it's called, right?
Yep.
I felt like that was great, like segue into learning more.
So what'd you get out of it? What was like your biggest takeaway?
I'm living my happy, Erin.
There you go.
No, it was really interesting. She actually encourages you to do a lot of work and a lot of homework while you're doing it, which at first I was very resistant of, but you know, I wrote down my list of like my biggest worries, my biggest anxieties, and then talked through them and I journaled through them, and she really like says, free write this out and see how you really feel about that so you can just feel those feelings,
for sure.
flatten those buttons, and grow from it.
I love that. I love that. Well,
expert.
I'm excited about Thought
Expert
Thursday.
right
I'm
here.
excited. I love Fridays.
Yeah.
Fridays are kind of like the fun day where you
Yeah.
just kind of be
Yeah.
sassy and flirty with life,
Yeah.
right?
Looking forward to Friday. Also have Andrea Owen, who's a friend
Oh, yeah.
of mine, right?
Oh yes, and I've got her book.
Yes.
How to Stop Feeling Like and Living My Best Life. We are Good Morning La La Land, and we stream live Monday through Friday on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. We are America's first live streaming daily talk show.
Check it out.
Absolutely.
Check it out.
It's going to be a Good Morning La La Land.
So.